This playthrough is rated M for mature.
I say, New Orleans is a lot more trouble and more dangerous than I realized. Greetings and salutations, viewers, while we're back here with another episode of Sherlock Holmes The Awakened. In the last episode, we explored New Orleans, found a lot of interesting southern folk, got our bags stolen, chased after him, found out that the local constabularies or the constable or whatever is working with whoever, or at least it seems like that. Also saved a lady from getting hung, and a lot of other mysteries. But we got to go into the dangers of the mosquito wall here to figure out what to go to next. So let's do it.
Yes, Watson, we must pass this way. Before we venture further, we must find some protection from this merciless insect horde. Wait for me here.
All right, let's leave Watson behind. You stay here, Watson. Stay right next to the mosquito wall. It won't. Oh, right, I can teleport. So let's go inside to the creepy house and the creepy attic and the creepy bears and everything like that. So, yeah, remember what they said about protection against mosquitoes?
This should prove useful.
Yeah, let's just grab a lemon. Now we can grab a lemon. So, all right. Is this the closest, I guess? Yeah. Okay. Oops, let's take the lemon and give it to Mr. Watson, and we'll be done with this.
Watson, cover yourself with lemon juice. It will protect you from the mosquito stings.
Do you know any similar trick to avoid the sting of bullets? We likely need it soon.
Kevlar. Okay, so now we can just walk through it. Ooh, hello.
There are signs of a struggle here. Perhaps Alderson regained his senses and fought back. Blood, and in large quantities. This bush has been stripped of its lower leaves and slightly uprooted. Someone grabbed hold of the brambles and refused to let go. His adversary, unable to get him down due to the man's tight grasp, must have cut off his hand. I would say his right.
What a horror!
Rather, and quite determined.
Quite gruesome, eh? There is evidence that a fierce struggle took place in the swamps on the way from Alderson's garden and the riverbank. The violence of this fight is unmistakable, as someone's right hand was severed at the same place. Yeah. Alright. So, Alderson's or the attackers. Most likely Alderson's, probably, but who knows. Hello. A boat was here, so they've already gone down river, so... Well, obviously. Enough time had passed.
A boat was waiting here. Watson, it seems everything leads to the swamp. How can we get there?
We must find that fisherman, the one at the docks who gave us information. He could help us.
You're quite right, Watson. Besides, it would be wise to visit a young woman.
A young woman?
Yeah, the lady in the picture, we need to visit her and see what her relationship to Alderson is.
Run, Watson, run!
We outran them, Holmes.
Surely not, Watson. They ceased their chase only when they saw we continued towards the port. Apparently, they have orders to kill intruders only as a last resort.
Is this supposed to reassure me?
Is it working? Nope. Okay. Well, let's go talk to the lady before we talk to Champagne or whatever. So, see if we can get inside. Hello, madam.
Good evening, my darlings. Come to have a little fun, have you?
Well...
No, madam. We merely wish to speak with one of your boarders about an extremely urgent matter.
Of course you do, darling. How much money you looking to spend?
The matter is... Madam, I must protest. It's not what you think. This is extremely urgent and involves nothing questionable.
Oh, sure. I understand. I know all about these urgent matters you fellas have to talk about with the girls. But unless I see the color of your money, you and your urgent matters best keep on moving. At least there are two of you. You could always lend each other a hand.
What did she just say? These Americans have such colorful expressions.
Let's just say she wanted us to give each other a hand, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, that was pretty colorful. But yeah, no turning of tricks for Mr. Sherlock Holmes. The idea of being with a woman like that. Yeah, sometimes you can be of that personality or type where it just, even if you have attraction to the opposite sex, like his mind is in such a different place that it doesn't even go to that location, you know, he doesn't even consider it. Unless you talk about fanfic or something like that. So we need to get past the madam here, so, and unfortunately we don't have any money.
What else do you want? We have work to do.
So perhaps if we don't have money, perhaps we could use our gift of persuasion to do this. So let's go to the items here and take those flowers we grabbed and make ourselves a bouquet. How are you supposed to figure this out? I don't know. It's either diamonds or flowers for ladies, I guess. So.
Good evening, my darlings. Come to have a little fun, have you?
Well...
No, madam. We came to give this bouquet to one of your boarders. You know who I'm talking about. We have something very important to say to her.
Good evening. You brought these flowers? Who are you? What's happened to...
Mr. Alderson? We still do not know exactly what has happened with the gentleman, but we are here to try and find out. Listen to me, miss.
Lucy.
My dear Miss Lucy, my friend and I have come here all the way from England. You may have seen us this morning with the sheriff.
Are you working for him?
No. Actually, we suspect him of obstructing our investigation. Our case has some remote connection with Mr. Alderson, so we went to his home to talk with him. While there, we found evidence he has been abducted, and one of his servants had been murdered.
Kidnapped? But why?
I don't know, but time is running out. Please tell us what you know about Mr. Alderson, and, Miss Lucy, omit nothing. Even the most trivial of facts may prove to be of great importance.
He is such a kind man, and had promised we would be married this autumn. He arrived in New Orleans about 2 years ago. He's a hunter, and was to stay but a few weeks. He was after something in the swamp, Lord knows what. Then, we met here. I had just started working, you see. Madam said that she would let me leave only if my debts and worth to her was paid off in full. A few weeks ago, Mr. Alderson, said that he had the solution. Maybe he had the money and was kidnapped by people who wanted it. It would have been a small fortune to most folks around here.
And you know where he could have hidden it?
Oh, I don't care about the money. If it could bring me back Errol, I'd give it away gladly. He showed me a secret room upstairs. He shoots with a gun to open it. He says that nobody else can succeed but a real marksman. Behind the wall is a cupboard with weapons and a little box hidden behind a big rifle. His money is inside. To open the gate of the cupboard, he uses a signet ring that he wears on his right hand. But how can any of this help you? You don't have his ring.
You have been of greater assistance than you may realize, Miss Lucy. If Mr. Alderson is still alive, we shall bring him back to you. Come on, Watson. Now, Watson, let's explore this swamp.
We must find that fisherman, the one at the docks who gave us information. He could help us.
Alright, so, yeah, now we basically have to find that guy's hand. The thing about Lucy, to figure out about giving a bouquet, I was joking about before, to figure it out, basically the picture, her with the bouquet, and I think in the letter, that's something to say she liked flowers, and that's how you're supposed to figure out to give her a bouquet to meet her. Also, when the lady was talking about, like, people talking to ladies, that's actually a common thing. A lot of people pay ladies of the evening or whatever to just talk to them because they're lonely. They don't even care about the gratification that comes from it in the physical sense. They just want to talk to them. So you'd be surprised how often you hear stories about people just going to places like that and just wanting to talk, and that's it. So anyway, let's head on to our next destination where champagne is. Let's give them the champagne bottle we grabbed a while back. Oh, a couple of puppers there. Now let's grab the champagne. There it is. Champagne for champagne.
Will this cover the cost of a boat?
It been kept in a bad way. My foot, it warm now for sure. All this'll get you them planks from the wood pile around there.
And one of your lanterns.
Sold.
What do you expect to do with this, Holmes? Build a raft?
Watson, let's pay a visit to this Arnson.
Alright, back to the Arnson house, I guess. So,
Would you be so kind as to explain to me why we are coming back with these wood planks?
We are searching for a signet ring, Watson.
And how do these planks help us find it?
We must recover the hand that wears it, so we must find a way to lure its finder.
But whom are you talking about, Holmes?
how do we find it? Well, if you read the Flora and Fauna book earlier, then we should have a pretty good clue on what we need. So, a raccoon.
The facts speak for themselves, Watson. The key that unlocks Arnson's cupboard is the signet ring he customarily wears on his right hand. There was the very same severed by one of his kidnappers when the poor man clung to the bush we saw on the way to the bayou. It so happens that raccoons are attracted by carrion and also are quite taken by shiny objects. No doubt one has made off with our missing hand and its ring. I noticed their tracks nearby, and no doubt they have a nest in this area. Find the raccoons, and we find our hand.
As you put it, it seems quite obvious, Holmes.
It's simplicity itself. But now we need to place some bait so the little fellow will come out and take us back to his den.
Alright, so the only thing we need is some carrion. What things do we have that's around here that's dead that we could use? Well, luckily we have a kitchen full of dead stuff that's just rotting away, so let's take that ham we saw earlier.
I'm going to set this outside to attract the little devil.
Well, they wear bandit masks, so you know that they're sketchy creatures of nature. Even though I think the bandit mask is based off of the raccoon mask, but whatever.
I need something.
Sorry, forgot to cook that ham. Ham? It's not kosher, though. Hopefully you're not Jewish.
Watson, there's the nest. It's on the roof above the balcony.
The balcony, huh? Alright, let's go. Ah! Watson, you're freaking me out here. Let's see. There we go.
I am missing something.
Let's see. Whoops. Now we just got to figure out how to get up there. So we need to combine. We basically need to make a ladder. All this just to make a ladder, huh? All right, whatever. Yeah, planks and nails, and then hammer. Ladder. Haha. And up we go. I was about to say, up we go. Yeah. Pigeons. Let's see, or bird feathers, a bone, shoelaces maybe, or something like that. I'm not sure what else is here, but yeah, we see the hand of Arneson.
Excuse me, madam. I'm merely passing by with no wish to disturb you, although I'm sure you found Mr. Arnson to be a man of good taste.
Okay. Yeah, you're talking to the raccoon as if it understands you, so. Okay, anyway, grab the ring. Alright, now we need to go. Now we need to go back to the room. Okay, let's see. I need to put the ring on. And then we need to find the cabinet, whichever opens the actually, which room is that again? That's over here, right? Haha. And there it is. Grab an elf again.
What a splendid weapon.
Indeed, it'll be of great advantage in the swamp.
To take out elephants, right? Right?
Here's what we need to buy a boat.
Take the gun and the money. Money. Got money, money, money for the honeys. I mean, for the boat. let's leave this place.
You should have listened to me, Mr. Holmes, and gone back on your boat.
It's the sheriff. Quickly, load the rifle, Holmes.
No, Watson. Forget the gun and see to the ladder. And quickly.
Yeah, Watson's all up for blood, but Sherlock's like, we don't have to murder people to do this, so let's grab the ladder. And by the way, there's not a timer or anything with that. It's just part of the puzzle, so you can take as much time as you need. So, all right, where is? Here we go.
Let's go, Watson, to the port.
All right. Well, apparently it's not easy to get away from the doctor, sheriff. Let's go back to Champagne now that we have the money, and talk to him about that. Let's see. Does he have any dialogue outside of giving him money?
Good evening, sir. We are interested in a short trip along the Bayou into the nearby swamp.
My mouth, nobody but some fool go in that swamp at night. Come back tomorrow. Old Champagne take you then for a fact.
No, sir. It is of the gravest importance that we could go to the swamp, and tonight.
No ways to get there. Listen, you have some boat hereabouts. Now, I can sell you the boat, but tell you true, you get your own selves to the swamp.
I believe we can find some manner of payment that you will find satisfactory. We shall return.
Which we've already gotten the money, so.
I believe we can find some manner of... We should find a way to pay.
Okay. Wait. I was just seeing what extra dialogue, because sometimes I know the solution to the puzzle, so I don't get the question to the puzzle, if that makes sense sometimes. So, apologies, that's just how it is sometimes.
Have we enough to buy a boat, sir?
For sure.
Excellent. Could you tell us the best way to reach the swamp area nearest to the rich parish?
That's simple enough for any fool. Sail along the river crook and keep close to the shore.
There is one last service you can do for us. The boat from which we disembarked is scheduled to leave tomorrow for Europe. Could you take a message to the crew for us? We may need for them to hold their departure until 8 o'clock in the morning.
Will do.
And one last thing. How may we identify Old Sam's racks from any others?
Old Sam's racks be marked with blue and white tops.
They said ropes.
Now, Watson, let's explore this swamp.
Yeah, now we're playing as Watson in the a bit
Nothing of value there, Watson.
a bit awkward, as you can see. So
I have no reason to go there.
yeah, you basically just use your controller. I don't even think you can go third person anyway. So you can, huh? Well then.
Here is the hidden passage near Old Sam's racks. We are on the right course, Watson.
Okay, well anyway, let's switch back to first person just because it's easier just to do it in first person, to tell you the truth. There's really only so many places you can go, as you can see. It's not like there's a super complicated web of interest.
Here is the hidden passage near Old Sam's racks. We are on the right course, Watson. Nothing of value there, Watson.
I think I might have got myself turned around, maybe.
Oh my God! Holmes! Look!
This way is too dangerous.
Quite right, Holmes.
Yeah, there's freaking tentacles out of the ground. Like, what? We're not gonna talk about the fact that there's writhing tentacles all over the place? No? Alright, whatever. I just wanted to show that off.
Here is the hidden passage near Old Sam's racks.
Okay, wait. Let's keep going.
Blood!
Here now, this is hardly reassuring.
Yeah, we are going into the den of evil. Ooh.
But what is this horror, Holmes? Where have you taken us?
Near the goal, Watson. Near the goal. Here is the hidden passage.
Okay, wait. Yeah, that's a hanging tree. A literal hanging tree. Look at that.
Good God! Look in the water! What monsters!
No, Watson. They are crocodiles, and apparently not very accommodating.
I can think of nothing useful. What are we to do, Holmes?
We must find some enticing food to lure them away from here, Watson. Let us think.
Holmes, I fail to see how they feed these creatures, and do not rely on me to dive in.
Okay, so we need to feed them, so there it is.
I can think of nothing useful. What are we to do, Holmes?
Well, the flora and fauna talked about feeding the elephants, so let's alligators. So let's shoot this body out of the tree, a hanging tree or whatever this tree is called. So,
Bravo, Watson. Here is what will draw these reptiles in that direction and free the passage.
Much better. But let's hurry and get ourselves across before we become their next course.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, it makes sense that Watson would be the one to shoot because he's been in the army, so he has pistol training and firearms training. I think Sherlock can use a pistol, but he's not a firearms expert. He knows how it
Attention,
works.
Watson. We arrive. Stand ready.
Here now, this is hardly reassuring.
All right, let's do it. This place is pretty creepy, man. All right. Ooh, there's a big statue of that one thing we saw earlier. So, there's the boat.
We must act quickly, Holmes.
Hey, you actually have different dialogue every once in a while. Why do we have to act quickly? What sense of urgency do we have? Oh, there's Arneson. Oh, is he alive?
Watson, see what you can do for this poor man. His servant took a harsh and terrible revenge by letting him go to these wild men. As for the others, I'm afraid we are too late.
Huh.
I haven't examined everything yet.
Okay, we need to save him for last, I guess.
I haven't examined everything
Fine.
yet.
Yeah, just take care of the the chopped up man.
Pitiable and blind fools! Are you not aware of the Great One's arrival? Even now, his servants are coming across his kingdom, and the enlightened will give up their flesh to him. All will be present for his awakening. Do not fight the calling! Soon you will end his dreaming, and your world will be swallowed whole. Bow down and give thanks. You are the food of his new world.
I've got it, Holmes.
Very cheesy cutscene, yeah. He just ran towards the gun. It's like, he led with the gun.
This sinister figure was also a cannibal. Bored by seafood, was he?
Yeah, he sees food and he eats it. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what his story was. Doesn't matter, he got shot. Don't worry, tell him you're shot. Yeah, one of the more macabre games.
A good number of people have been here, not long ago, and indeed not freely.
I guess it's the sleeping huts or whatever. Yeah, this is one of the more macabre of the Sherlock Holmes games. That and maybe the Jack the Ripper game. Just because of the real world implications of that. And there's the Squid Man himself.
I won't do that.
You won't do that? Are you sure you won't do that? No. Okay. Anyway. Let's, wait, what's that dialogue? Oh, I thought it said pitiable man as his description or something like that. I was like, what? Perhaps this broken statue will appease the Squid Man? Ha 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 ha. Alright, what else is around here? Oh, there it is. Oh, wait.
What a strange book. I've never seen these idioms before. How perfect. It'll provide welcome diversion during our return voyage.
Yeah, I guess a book appeared when we put that statue there. Alright, well, you have fun with your dad or whatever. We'll never see you again, right? Right? Okay. Let's take a look. The Kuaman Quadla book. Yeah, sure, that's how it's pronounced. Alright, let's get out of here.
Holmes, help me to carry him to the boat. I really can't say if he will survive the voyage back.
By the devil, that'd be Alderson.
Indeed. Do you know someone who can be accommodating and tend to him?
You takes yourselves round and seize that little Lucy what lives on the boat.
I know where Lucy is. Please, help my friends to lift this poor man to the wharf, and I will go find Miss Lucy.
What can we do for you, my pretty one?
Dear madam, could you tell Lucy that we have found Mr. Alderson, and tell her to hurry? This may be her last chance to see him while he still breathes.
Lucy! Lucy! Ah, here you are. This gentleman found you, fella.
My God, can it be true?
Sure enough, as he say.
What have they done with you? Oh, my poor love.
He has lost his hand and is in deep shock. But with rest and tender care, he has a good chance to survive these injuries.
Oh, madam, please, please.
If I could have a moment, we found this sum of money, which is a large amount and belongs to Mr. Alderson. I think it is fair to entrust it to your care.
Well, this seems all right then.
I will take good care of you. You'll see, my love.
About Alderson's place, there was some disorder left there. If you could be a good man and set things right.
You can count on old Champagne for every little thing. Now, that's a fact.
I can see our friend is in good hands. We better hurry, Watson. I see our ship is making ready to leave. Watson, I have told you several times now, I am not to be disturbed.
But Holmes, you have been locked inside your cabin for all of 4 days now. Outside, the sun is simply radiant, and the wind from the sea...
If you approach me, Watson, I will throw you out. Now, leave me.
Blast it all, Holmes. I am bored. I can't take these sailors' conversations for another minute.
We have an understanding, Watson, each to his purpose. I will look to the translation of the book. You are to study the figures written out by our young friend Davy. Now, get on with your task and leave me to mine.
But you know that these enigmas are not my strong point. Wouldn't you have some other task which is better suited to my skills, Holmes?
Of course. You're a man of letters, after all. So, return to the bridge, take your trusted notebook, and apply your mind to editing this small writing.
Agreed. On what subject?
It is my monograph on the calculated trajectories of gull excretia. Good day, Watson. I see we have received a message, undoubtedly from my brother Mycroft.
Yeah, that was an awkward scene just because of what Shaw's doing, and sometimes it's, you know, it's hard to almost say, like, are they really friends sometimes, you know what I mean, because of how he treats Watson, but he's on that, like, weird level where you just have to kind of accept his eccentricities and making him write about bird poop. Anyway, Sherlock, you should receive this letter upon your return from the Americas. Your instructions were followed to the letter. In Switzerland, and I believe you, will find the results satisfying. Several days ago, the Swiss authorities inspected the Black Edelweiss Institute and found evidence of serious breaches of establishment medical ethics, in total accord with your findings. Dr. Gygax was also found and detained. Unfortunately, before anything could be learned, he took desperate measures. He had hidden It had hidden a small but likely lethal dose of potassium cyanide on his person. Before he could be stopped, he swallowed this poison and died immediately. His employees denied any knowledge of the doctor's murderous activities, and the evidence supports the conclusion that they were merely employees carrying out his orders. No trace was found of the Hindi. However, your friend, Superintendent Bilger, I was about to say Chalmers for a second, informed me that during their search of an underground level at the Institute, his men discovered a blood-spattered well. In this room, they also reported hearing a strange maniacal laughter that appeared to come from the bottom of that same well. The superintendent thinks, as I do, that the sound was shouting of the patients gathered in the hospital square. He theorizes that due to the odd acoustics present, the sound was distorted and appeared to be originating from that foul well. I must say I agree completely with his reasoning, and mentioned the odd report merely to apprise you of all the facts. You should also know that since its discovery, that dreadful room has been condemned and permanently sealed. Although most of Dr. Gygax's documents were destroyed before the arrival of the Swiss police, a number of accounting references survived. These were adequate to trace a series of suspicious transactions. Even the famed confidentiality of the Swiss banks has their limits. What I learned through the Simulant Fantastic is quite probable. It seems that Dr. Gygax had laid his hands on a goodly portion, if not the entirety, of Lord Rochester's lost treasure. You may recall the story. Lord Rochester, the infamous London billionaire, married an American woman. They had but one child, a lad named Archibald. After the boy completed his education and achieved his majority, he traveled east to take charge of his father's interests. In addition to holdings in England, Lord Rochester also held a number of jewel mines in India. At the end of 2 years, Archibald had accumulated a fortune of gemstones, all of the highest quality. The best of these were placed in a chest, which he took with him onto a ship bound for England. Then his fortunes turned. Neither he nor the gems ever saw land, as a dreadful storm sank the ship near the Indian coast. Only a few of the ship's crews survived. The bodies of the rest were pulled from the sea, with one notable exception. Not a trace was found of either Archibald or the famed chest, and the tragedy took a far greater toll. Lord Rochester was devastated by the news and died soon after. Grief-stricken Lady Rochester returned to her family home in Boston. She herself died not long ago. What was once a noble family is now gone. What you may not know is that Archibald Rochester had the stones carefully documented and inventoried before he boarded the ship. I was fortunate to see these very documents recently. Comparing the particulars, I can say that with the utmost confidence that some of these same stones, presumably at the bottom of the Indian Ocean abyss, have astonishingly surfaced in the middle of the Swiss Alps. I was unsuccessful in uncovering exactly what facts led Amos Colby, the Northwood Agency operative, to that area, but you may know more about this subject than I am privy to. Sincerely yours, Mycroft.
Strange. Here, read this, Watson.
Indeed, but the possession of such a treasure is an end in itself. Why the devil go through with such an elaborate masquerade?
Money is often the motive of the basest acts, but not in this case. These are deep waters indeed, Watson. These people follow some other dark purpose, so desperate that it justifies any sacrifice and great risk.
You frighten me, Holmes.
I know. Sometimes I frighten myself. Enough of idle speculations, Watson. I asked you to study the figures drawn by young Davy. No doubt they are some cipher. What do you make of them?
Okay, so if you want to figure out the solution to this one's another one of those situations here where you just have to follow the patterns. So you have to look at the numbers and realize that there's a kind of like a split section in some of them. Like so this letter here, so the 687954312 is a specific set of numbers, and then the slash indicates the end of an example of what we need to decode of this whole thing here. So we need to decode this set of numbers right here, and then we need to figure out during these lines which like numbers or set of numbers repeat multiple times in different sections on each row. So the first is the end of a set, and the second is the beginning of the next set, is when you see the repetition of that. So that's how we're supposed to figure out what the solution is to this puzzle. So it's a standard number puzzle. At least I'm more aware how to solve this than I was the clock puzzle. So, all right. Anyway, to solve this, we need to get the answer, we need 5, 6, 4, 3, 6, 6. Oops. Let me try that again. Okay, I'll have to do it physically, so 5, 6, 4, 3, 6, 6, 1, 3, 4. 5, 6, 4, 3, 6, 0, 6, 1, 3, 4.
Indeed, they are open to but one possible meaning, even if it eludes me at present. As for my own enigma, I have failed to penetrate the secrets of this book. The language is archaic, and my own modest knowledge of ciphers is sorely tested. I have succeeded in drawing forth only insanities and other absurdities. According to this book, if my translation is exact, if one makes this mark with human blood, and then with conviction recites this illuminating verse, the victim is mesmerized or demons leave his mind. I tell you, Watson, this reads like complete gibberish. I do not know what to make of it.
How did you say it? What? These drawings, what a horror. I tell you, Holmes, this book gives me great unease, as does almost everything to do with this affair.
I just recalled, Watson. Didn't Barnes, the bookseller, tell us he had studied ancient history? Perhaps he might help us with the translation of this book. We must seek out better minds, for we are at a standstill. I have not the slightest idea where they could have taken these people and what consequences await them. Let's take our leave and see if Barnes might be of assistance.
Crazy that even, like, Sherlock Holmes is, like, the whole Cthulhian thing, and this whole thing is just, like, baffling. As are most people, so. But it's supposed to be. That's what drives people insane in the stories. It's the knowledge of the unknown and what is grander than us. Obviously, people had different thought processes back to the day. Like, now people don't find the idea of the Cthulhu Mythos as scary as when it was written back then because of what it represents. But it's still creepy when you think about it. So, all right. Anyway, time to go back to Barnes. Let's see if I can just teleport there at this point. And we can even go back here if we need to, even though there's no reason to, so, but I don't even think there's anyone to really talk to.
What do you make of this, Holmes?
At least I don't believe you can interact with anyone in town. Yeah, I don't think so. There's really no need. There's not like you're going to get unique dialogue from it anyway, so that's fine.
Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, a real pleasure to see you. I say, where have you been? You've stayed away for some months now.
Indeed, we took a very long journey and barely made it back. However, we have more important matters to discuss. Didn't you say you have some knowledge of ancient people, their language, writings, and customs?
Indeed I did, Mr. Holmes. Why do you ask?
Yeah, I've got a creepy book here you want to take a look at.
What can I do for you, Mr. Holmes?
Okay, well, anyway. Let's equip the book, and yeah, everything else is taken out of our inventory, so. The Cthulhu book.
You are just the man we need. I ran across this esoteric text during our travels and wondered if... Is there something wrong, Barnes?
Mr. Holmes, wherever did you find this? This book, it is worthy of a museum.
If you could be so good as to translate some of these fragments for me, I would be in your debt. I am particularly interested in these pages here. They are in the poorest condition and therefore appear to be the most used.
With pleasure. I will get to work straight away and keep you informed of my progress.
Well, hopefully you can make it sanity checks. Usually when you have to read strange books in the Call of Cthulhu tabletop game, usually you end up getting losing points of sanity, but gaining Cthulhu Mythos. That's a theme and a pattern in the Call of Cthulhu world. The more knowledge you gain, the less sanity you have by the end of it. Anyway, let's go back to Baker Street for now. Actually, let's talk to this paperboy now that he's appeared. Killing Tempest, huh? And yeah, we could talk to that guy to leave, but...
Strand! Get the Strand! 3 ships still missing at sea! All aboard feared lost! Get the Strand! Latest word on the missing ships!
Give me the latest edition. There's a good lad.
Thank you, mister.
Mister, you know who we are. Anyway, the Strand. Storm of the Century. The colossal tempest many are already calling the Storm of the Century has taken hold of the Scottish and Irish coastline. It has been raging for the last 2 weeks, and officials are alarmed by the signs that the storm is intensifying. Witnesses report that the winds are increasing, and waves higher than 40 feet have been spotted. The storm has taken a terrible toll in shipping and the lives of seamen. 34 ships have been reported lost, and even as this article goes to press, several hundred lives hang in the balance as seamen struggle against the raging elements. Sadly, the Royal Navy Rescue is presently forbidden to launch any search parties due to the dangerous conditions. Until this storm lifts, those lost at sea have only fortune and faith which may carry them home. Whoops, didn't mean to. There we go. Their one ray of hope is that the majority of the lighthouses remain in operation. The roads leading to them are largely underwater, and their occupants and the guardians of our coast and a sailor's last friend are manning their post bravely though they remain cut off from the world. Her Majesty the Queen held an emergency meeting with her ministers about the crisis along our coast. It was learned that similar phenomena are occurring around the world. An extraordinary quality of the tempest that is savaging our waters is that it appears to affect the weather around the world, creating similar storms elsewhere. Reports from continental Europe, the Americas, Africa, and Oceania all speak of the rapidly deteriorating sea conditions. Some scholars speculate that the force and direction of the currents around our coastline is simplifying the effect of these waves in the ambient seas. However, according to these same scholars, a worldwide effect of this magnitude would be the first of its kind. French police sputter. Undoubtedly, the French police are always late. It is unbridled chase of the mysterious burglar A.L. Arsène Lupin, whose exploits we have followed with great regularity. The police have struck a significant obstacle, this being the victim's unbridled admiration for this canny thief. A rich and well-known eccentric heiress was recently robbed of a fortune in gems. Their value is estimated to be several hundred million francs. The regional authorities had placed their estate under close watch, as they quite rightly regarded it as the prime target for this notorious thief. Last night, a shadowy figure was observed scaling the wall, crossing the grounds, and entered the residence. The policemen closed their trap neatly, with an entire brigade standing by in reinforcements. They charged the manor, throwing their household into a panic, and rushed their heiress's private rooms. She met them in her nightdress and perkily announced that the theft of her jewelry had just occurred. After several minutes, rather long ones, she explained that she showed the burglar an ancient secret passage in her room, through which he escaped and skillfully avoided the police. The passage led to a nearby train station. The shocked civil servants took their leave without saying a word, rejecting the light meal prepared for them by the lady of the house. No doubt it will take more than a few croissants for this lady to persuade the insurance company to pay her value of the stolen gems. I don't know why that's funny, just saying that all of a sudden. But anyway, if you want to learn more about that, play Sherlock Holmes and Nemesis or versus Arsène Lupin. Depending on where you buy it, it's a different name.
Watson, consider the news of all these missing ships. I have an idea, but it will be necessary to secure a chart for the Scotland coast and nearby seas. No point in asking Barnes. I have no desire to divert his attention from the translation.
True enough, Holmes. But where else would we find such a chart?
The piers. The wharf, I mean. I like the fact that they were kind of preparing for the next game, but you could have just seen it as just a reference if you play this game, because you never know how well a game's going to do. This game could have bombed, but apparently it did decently well from what I remember because of the source material on it. Sherlock Holmes versus the cult, and a very interesting premise, because Sherlock had dealt with cults before, but it was never of this type of cult. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's head to the wharf.
It's elementary. It is a sea chart we seek. We must go to the harbor.
All right, yep, right in here. So, all right, let's talk to the bartender.
Good day, sir.
Good morning to you, gentlemen. Would you care for a pint, or perhaps something finer?
Thank you, but at the moment I have need of information and will have to miss another glass of your fine ale. More's the pity. Would you happen to know where I could find charts of the local waters?
They're all kept at the harbour master's office, but I'm afraid only those with port business are allowed to enter. I trust you understand.
Precisely. What I need is a chart of the Scottish area, where all those ships have wrecked recently.
Indeed. Such a sad tale. All those poor souls lost at sea. It seems as if the very devil is at work there. Hang on. A chart of the Scotland coastline, you said? It seems to me I have one in my room over there, behind the bar. Here's the key. Take it and have a look for yourself. If you find it, it's yours for the taking.
All right, let's go get this this key. So we got a key for the door here. We can now open this door. Yeah, you thought we were never gonna go in, huh? And he's gotta have something somewhere. Aha.
I have what we need, Watson. Now, let's examine this map.
Scotland West Coast, huh? Let's see. West Coast by survey from Captain Robinson, Otter, and E.J. Bedford. I think it's just R.S. Wood, Thomas Eady, and Aird, and Will Stanton, Master R.N. 1846 to 65. The North Coast of Ireland by Captain G.A. Bedford and Mr. Hosky R.N. The Outer Surroundings by Captain A.T.E. Vidal, V.N. 1850. Additional Outer Surroundings by Captain E.G. Bedford, R.N. 1865. F. Fixed, F.L. Flashing, Group F.L. Group, Flashing, OCC, Occulting, Reverend, Revolving Lights. Figures on the land express the heights in feet above the sea. Magnetic variation in 1904, decreasing about 7 feet annually. Sounding in fathoms. The west coast of Scotland is published in 7 sheets on a scale of 0.5 inches to the sea mile. So, okay. Alright, so to move this, we need to... excuse me. We had to just hold the mouse button down, and we can shift through the picture here. North Rona Peaks, East Celio, St. Kilda Peak, distance 3 miles. Sulsker, different miles here. There's the magnetic north compass there, and then all these the longitude and latitude. Look at this thing. Yeah, if you didn't know how to read a map, this would be a bunch of gibberish, but I know a bit about reading maps. I wouldn't say I'm an expert though. North Minch, Cromedy. Yeah, this is supposed to be Scotland, so yeah, my family is actually my last name is actually Scottish, so I have some ties to the Scottish lands. I've never actually been to Scotland. I want to go one day, maybe when I retire or something like that. I don't know. We'll see, though. We shall see. But anyway, we need to find... Okay, so the latitudes we need longitude 56436, and for the vertical, we need to find 6134. Okay, so Ard... Let's see. Let's see. It's near the west coast. All right, this might take me a hot minute just because of where everything is. Okay. Okay, so let's see. The problem is that how yeah, there it is. Arn the merchant or whatever. So we just have to figure out where.
Watson, that's what those mysterious figures meant. Longitude and latitude. They indicate a point along the Scottish coast called Ardnamurchan. Let's bring back the key to the tavern keeper and see if he knows this place.
All right, let's see. Anything else? Lord Rochester's son embarks for India.
A photograph of Rochester as a young man.
All right, yeah, that map puzzle, like I said, it could be, if you don't know how to read maps, it could be like you could cross your eyes and goes, what? Yeah, that one could take a while to go through, so, whoops, not there. Just trying to read the thing, so. Too bad you couldn't zoom out, but.
Did you find everything to your liking?
Indeed, you are as good as your word. I found the charts just as you said. Does the name Ardnamurchan mean anything to you?
Ah, yes. It's a lighthouse along that very coastline. Legend has it, the place was built over a pirate's hideaway. In fact, now that I think on it, that spot is right in the middle of the tempest that is taking down all those ships. Rather odd-looking building. They say the chap who built it, Stevenson I believe his name was, that he fancied up the entrance with foreign symbols, Egyptian obelisks and even a dog with wings. Strange fixings for a lighthouse, isn't it?
Strange indeed.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Nope, I guess we're good. Let's go back to Barnes and see if he's learned anything new. Oh, I thought I went to the bookstore, did I? Why did it take me to Baker Street? Huh. Alright, whatever.
Mr. Holmes, I was able to translate the pages that you wanted. Come, I will show you. This book is quite ancient. It tells of a terrifying sect devoted to strange entities. The descriptions are vague, but we can presume the origin of this myth arises from the destructive Leviathan represented in the Bible, a creature said to sleep and dream in a strange city under the sea.
A nightmare sleeping within the sea.
To be exact, the pages you asked me to translate are in fact a prayer or invocation to this entity and the description of the ceremony associated with it. To be frank, what is described in this book would make one laugh, were it not for its reliance on such horribly obscene, morbid, and bloodthirsty language.
And this ceremony, what can you tell me about it?
Promise me you will not laugh. The book says that hundreds or thousands of years ago, during a particular alignment of the stars, a priest performed these rites, invoking the name of a destructive Leviathan. The priest intoned his name and called for his return to this earth so his followers could give him his due. The priest then asked a representative of each nation on the earth to recite the invocation and sacrifice themselves to the sea from atop a colossal natural rock tower surrounded by water. All this is quite absurd, isn't it?
Pray continue, Barnes.
As you like. It goes on to say that the ceremony must be held under the image of the messenger of the outside gods. Nothing more exact is said on these entities. However, from their description, their messenger would have a form rather close to the Egyptian Sphinx, except that his face is without feature and jet black in color. So an idol in its likeness must be present during the ceremony. But can you imagine that? Some so-called priest and an international crowd atop a tower singing in unison before some faceless winged stone lion?
I can imagine it very well, Barnes. You say that these people are to throw themselves into the sea so that their god will have his due. But what is it about? What does this god seek?
That's the most preposterous part of this tale, and proves it to be pure myth and fancy. Even for the sake of argument, this ceremony could never have happened. In such ancient times, it would have been quite impossible to gather representatives from every nation on Earth and in one place.
I understand, Barnes. Humor me a bit more and please answer my last question. What would this Leviathan want from us?
Indeed, we would owe this creature our world. According to this, complete the ceremony and the collective sacrifice, invoke the demon, and he will arise and swallow the earth. Yes, Holmes, they sought nothing less than the end of the world. What nonsense!
Thank you, Barnes. I must leave now. Goodbye. The newspaper dating before our departure. Watson, find it. There was some article about the current alignment of the stars. This may tell us precisely how much time we have left.
But Holmes, surely you can't believe...
The newspaper, Watson. Find that newspaper. Look, Watson! The light is barely lit. This explains the shipwrecks and recent disappearances.
Holmes, if we do not find a place to land, and soon, I fear they will add our names to those poor souls lost in these seas. Oh my God! Holmes, look! The sea! It just swallowed him!
Lambs for the slaughter! Watson, we must stop this!
Can we stop it, gentlemen? We've made our way to Scotland and the lighthouse itself, but the twists and tides and the tempest deemed to destroy all of mankind and possibly the world itself. Can the world's greatest detective and his friend Watson be able to stop this cult, stop the summoning of the Leviathan, and save the world from insanity? We'll find out next time in the finale of Sherlock Holmes The Awakened. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.